Talk to me about purpose. So what does it mean to have purpose in one's life, and how does it relate to being happy?
So meaning, purpose is an extremely important part of a happy life. In fact, there are many psychologists who would argue, and they have a strong case, who would argue that purpose and meaning is the key pillar of happiness. One of those people would be Viktor Frankl in his remarkable, again, one of my top recommended reads in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. Now, Viktor Frankl talks about two types of meaning. Capital M meaning, which is the meaning of life, and small m meaning, which is the meaning in life. Now, when it comes to the meaning of life, I must say that's above my pay grade. I think each one needs to find her or his meaning of life. And some people find it in religion. Some people find it in a goal that or an objective that they had from the time they were 3 years old, whether receiving it from their parent, or a revelation or a dream. Again, above my pay grade. But the meaning in life, finding meaning in our day to day, here there are many very interesting studies and contributions from psychologists that can help us find it. And with your permission, Arya, I'd like to share a study, which I think is one of the most important studies in the field of psychology, that can help us identify the meaning in life, literally in our day-to-day activity. So this is by Amy Wisniewski and Jane Dutton, originally from University of Michigan. And what they did was they identified 3 different orientations that people have regarding their work. There are some people who see their work as a job. What's a job? A job is seeing our work as something that we have to do. It's a chore. Why do we do it? Because we need to. We need the paycheck at the end of the month, for instance. What are we looking forward to when we're in a job? We're looking forward to the end of the shift or the end of the week, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Or retirement, when we'll no longer need to do this job. Right now we're doing it because we have to. That's work as a job. Then there is a second orientation, which is work as a career. What's a career? Career is all about progress. It's all about climbing up the organizational hierarchy. It's all about making more money, making progress. What do we look forward to in a job, in a career? More money, higher level in terms of the organizational chart. Then there are people who see their work as a calling. The third orientation, we have a job, we have a career, we have a calling. Calling is all about meaning and purpose. It's about doing something that matters, that's important. I may be very glad that I'm paid for it, but ultimately I'm doing it because I care. Now, we all have some job orientation, some career orientation, and some calling orientation, regardless of what we do. The question, of course, is of degree. Which is the more dominant perspective? And it turns out that that matters a lot. And it turns out that we have control over how we perceive our work and our life as a whole. It's a job, career, or a calling. Let me give you an example. So the first study that Wisniewski and Dutton ran was in hospitals. And what they found was that with some janitors, and again, what do janitors do? They clean the floors, the toilets, and they change bed sheets. Some janitors saw their work as a job, something that they had to do. They needed the paycheck. What were they looking forward to? Let this shift just be over, or the end of the week, or retirement. Work as a job. In those very same hospitals, there were janitors doing the exact same thing. Wow. Again, cleaning floors, toilets, changing bed sheets, who saw their work as a career. They were looking forward to becoming the head janitor or doing something else that pays more, or maybe is more prestigious. It was all about career. And in those very same hospitals, there were other janitors doing the same thing, floors, toilets, bed sheets, who saw their work as a calling. What they were doing was they were facilitating the work of the nurses and doctors. What they were doing was helping the patients heal through their work. What they were doing mattered, was important, meaningful, purposeful. Now, does this mean that they didn't have their job days or career days? Of course they did. We all do. But primarily, they focused on the meaningfulness, the purposefulness of their activities. Needless to say, their work, their performance was a lot better. Needless to say, they were a lot happier. They experienced their life as more meaningful. Interestingly, in those very same hospitals, there were nurses and doctors who saw their work as a job. Let this shift, just been doing this for 20 years. Enough already. But, that's what I know how to do. That's what I do day to day. I'm making a living, providing for my family. And then there were doctors and nurses who saw their work as a career. I want to become the chief nurse, chief doctor, or if it was a teaching hospital, a full professor, start my own clinic, make more money. It was all about that. And then there were doctors doing the same thing as all other doctors who saw their work as meaningful, as purposeful, as important, as making a difference. Ari, it reminds me of a story that my business partner told me. His name is Angus Ridgway. He's spent 21 years at McKinsey as a senior director. He is British with a British sense of humor. And he was having lunch one day with his brother-in-law, whose name is Ever. And Ever is a cardiologist, a heart doctor. Ever's specialty is pacemakers. So what he does is puts pacemakers in, and then every few years he takes it out, changes the battery, and puts it back in. That's his expertise, specialty. So Angus was having lunch with Ever, and he said to him, Ever, I finally figured out what you do for a living. So curiously, Ever asked, what is it? And Angus says to him, you change batteries. Now, Ever didn't even smile. He just looked straight at Angus and said to him, Angus, you're right. Some days I change batteries. Other days I save lives. It's about our orientation, our perception, what we choose to focus on that matters. Now, interestingly, the exact same study was replicated among administrators in the hospital, among managers in different industries, line employees in different industries, whether you're talking banks or you're talking manufacturing plants. The exact same result was replicated in schools, among teachers, among parents who see parenting as a job, something I have to do, as a career. It's all about helping my child succeed, or recalling what a privilege this is to do what I do. The same results were replicated among hairdressers. Wherever they looked, they found this pattern. And most importantly, what they found is that we have a choice. Yeah, everyone will sometimes experience their work as a job or a career or as a calling. But how much do we experience it? The quantity of experiences of a sense of calling, that's to a great extent up to us. One thing we can do, and this is, I do it with many of my clients, is asking our employee or colleague or ourselves to write, instead of a job description, to write a calling description.
Beautiful. I love that.
And that means writing about, what is it about my work that's meaningful, that's important, that I would do even if I wasn't paid? And identifying it, raising our levels of awareness about those things that we do as meaningful, can and often does make all the difference of finding meaning in life.
Hey, this is Ari. I hope you enjoyed this video. And one more thing before you go. Actually, two more things. One is, if you enjoyed this particular little clip, The link to the full-length podcast is in the description down below, so make sure to check that out. Also, one more thing. Let me ask you a question. What if I could show you how to double your energy levels and dramatically improve your brain function, reducing your anxiety and depression to a degree on par with antidepressant drugs, but without the side effects? Sound pretty interesting? Well, there are, in fact, numerous compounds that can do this, that have been shown to do this. And I'll take you through just a few of these very briefly. One of them is rhodiola rosea. And this has been shown in studies, rhodiola rosea extract, in people with stress-related fatigue and exhaustion to cut their levels of fatigue and brain fog in half in less than a month. Just this one compound. There's another compound in my formula Energenesis called NT factor phospholipids that's been shown to help repair mitochondrial membranes and mitochondrial health to the level of healthy 29-year-olds, taking people with deteriorated mitochondria who are over the age of 65, restoring it to the level of healthy 29-year-olds. And that has been shown in numerous studies in various types of chronic fatigue, aging-associated chronic fatigue, obesity-related chronic fatigue syndrome, to increase energy levels by 30 to 45% in the span of 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the specific study. So dramatic improvements in a very, very short period of time. Two more compounds that are amazing, I highly recommend, that are in my formula Ultra Brain, along with rhodiola rosea. Saffron extract. This has been shown to increase levels of, improve your mood, I should say, and decrease levels of depression on par with fluoxetine, which is Prozac. And not only that, but with fewer side effects. It's much safer and much less likely to cause negative effects than antidepressant drugs are. Acetyl L-carnitine is another compound that's been shown to dramatically improve brain health in older adults. It also improves energy levels in older adults with chronic fatigue by between 40 to 50% in just the span of 2 to 4 months. And the last thing I'll mention here is acetyl L-carnitine has also been compared to antidepressant drugs and been shown, like saffron, to be as effective as antidepressant drugs in combating depression, but without the harmful side effects that so often occur with the drugs. This is just a small sampling of the over 35 compounds that are in my formulas Energenesis and Ultra Brain that are all proven to dramatically improve energy levels, mitochondrial health, and brain health, and much, much more. And I highly recommend that you go check these out. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety or brain fog, if you're struggling with stress-related exhaustion and burnout, if you're struggling with chronic fatigue, go check out these formulas, give them a shot. I promise you are going to be blown away by the results. And like I said, the science has already proven that these things work. So you don't have to just take my word for it. There's lots of research to support that. And I'll even link to some of that research down below so you can verify everything that I just said for yourself. So the links to those studies will be in the description for this video down below. So check them out. Check out the formulas on the energyblueprint.com. Again, Energenesis is the mitochondrial formula, and Ultra Brain is our brain formula. Check them out, try them out, and I think you're going to be blown away by the results. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.